Good morning. It's Andrea Dancing Star. Um, Hi. I am still here. I'm still alive, in case anybody has wondered. Um, I haven't made a video in like 5 months. So I thought that I would go ahead and share why I've been away with everyone. Um, so we'll just get right to it. The meat of the subject. Why I have been away. On Mother's Day, of all days. Well, 5/12 is when this report got to them. I was diagnosed during Mercury retrograde, so of course that means it took like an extra month for me to get my results. But yeah, so I had like a lump on my right breast. I was going to a well woman visit. Um Scheduled me for a mammogram. Revealed, yes, there is a tumor. So immediately in the mammogram, um, I'd never had a mammogram before, so I didn't know they could do this. But immediately they sent me to ultrasound, which is in the same office. And the radiologist came in and did a biopsy, an ultrasound guided biopsy, and also put this little metal pin, inside the tumor, so that future surgery or whatever, they would be able to like see where the tumor was, like a marker. It was titanium. It was like a little metal titanium ribbon. Yeah, so they did the biopsy. All of this was in March. So it was like a whirlwind. So yeah, there was a tumor. That's all I knew for like I guess a month. It was just that it was a tumor. I didn't have results back from the biopsy. Like I said, it all happened in Mercury retrograde. So it took forever. Like they were supposed to take 2 weeks to get the results back. And then on the 2 week mark, um this this the nurse, the oncology nurse, she called me and she was like, the lab just called and said, wow, we've had it for 2 weeks and, we didn't even test it. We've just had it for 2 weeks. So now we're going to test it. We're really sorry. I was like, yeah, go figure. In the meantime, I met with a surgeon, I met with an oncologist, and I met with a radiation oncologist, obviously, because it's cancer. While we could find out exactly everything that, the genetics is basically what they wanted to know, genetic testing, because that's like a thing now. I didn't know that. I don't think maybe it was a thing whenever my mom had breast cancer, but I don't really remember. I don't remember too much of that, but I won't go. I won't go into my mom. So, the genetic testing kind of tells a whole lot about it indicates what kind of treatment you need. So, they were able to tell that my tumor grows from estrogen. Like the estrogen my ovaries were producing, or my one ovary was producing, was causing my cancer to get larger. And so I think it was like a 2.5 by 3 centimeter mass. I mean, it was pretty big in the beginning. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I could stand without a bra and see the tumor, which was pretty helpful because if I hadn't been able to see it, then I wouldn't have caught it. Um, I actually knew that I had the tumor for a year before I even went to the doctor. I was just kind of, nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to go to the doctor and hear, yeah, you've got cancer. No, So, yeah, I didn't go. And then one day, after I'd had the cancer removed from my uterus, I don't, this was like 5 months ago, and I'm still in that place. I'm still trying to get everything turned around. I'm trying to do all these different things with my life. I was kind of depressed, kind of lost, kind of journeying, kind of healing, kind of doing all this stuff. Not kind of healing, but really healing, but also all the other things. So I was really kind of depressed for a while when I first found it, and I was like, I'm not trying to figure that out right now. Um, like I didn't even have a job. I was just in the middle of the desert, living in my car. So I was like, I'm not going to go to the doctor for that. Like there's no way. Moving on. Estrogen was causing my tumor to get bigger. So the obvious, response to that is injections, which put me into menopause and stopped the production of estrogen in my body, along with a pill that I take. Monthly injections put me into menopause, stopped the estrogen production. So I did that. They scheduled me for that pretty much right away. In the meeting with the surgeon, with the oncologist, with the radiation oncologist, they all urged me to quit smoking. And I told all three of them, no, I'm not going to quit smoking, especially now. Like, I'm super stressed. And I already have the cancer. So, like, why would I quit doing any of the things that cause cancer? So, for about 2 weeks, I just ate all the candy I wanted. I kept smoking cigarettes. I did all the things. I even almost started drinking. And it was kind of weird. It was, I don't know. I guess I don't have like a typical reaction to a cancer diagnosis, as maybe most people, not the ones that I've seen on YouTube, not what the doctors told me. They were telling me we're going to have to wait for the genetic testing to know if we're going to do chemo, to know if we're going to do radiation, if it's just surgery. We're going to have to wait for all of that before we know, but we're going to go ahead and do this injection where we stop the estrogen production. So, doing that, April 25th was the date of my first injection. And, I was really worried that I was going to grow a mustache and like try to kill people because I just hear horror stories of women in menopause. Um, I have no mustache. And actually, I feel like as far as my emotions go, I feel like it kind of made me like more even, honestly. I think it's a better situation for me. I definitely do. So, moving right along, they do like a kabillion tests, they do like a kabillion scans. So, I've had a whole body scan, I've had MRIs done, um, and I'm basically come to find out, I guess, like interesting things that you find out in the process of all of this. Like, I guess I have like a slip disc in my lower back. I was like, I don't have back problems. No, I think that's wrong. But apparently I do. My lungs, honestly, not that bad considering I've been smoking for almost 30 years. I don't smoke cigarettes now, by the way. We'll just insert that now. I have to come to two decisions in my life on my own. I can't just be told. I'm an Aquarius, even if it's by a medical professional. Can't just be told you need to quit smoking. I was like, well, we'll see. We'll see. No, probably not though. Not today, anyways. So going along, doing the injection, I did notice that my tumor did get smaller. So that was a good sign. And then we got the test back. And that's what this little paper is. I mean, I have like a whole notebook of all of this. I'll just show all this. Flagstaff Surgical Associates, breast care. We got the results back. We received the results from your genetic testing, the 91 cancer gene panel through Ambry Genetics, and the results are positive for both BRCA2 and CHEK2 gene mutations. So basically, in my DNA, the double helix looks like a ladder. There's a spot where 4 rungs are just missing. And those genes help repair normal damage to certain organs, including my breasts and my ovaries. And also the prostate. But, I'm a girl, so I don't have that. Thank God. So, if it's a genetic mutation, then that means that my lifestyle really didn't contribute, meaning smoking didn't really contribute to it, or sugar intake didn't really contribute to it. Also, if it's genetic, it would have just happened anyways. Basically, this genetic mutation makes me like 70% more likely that I would have developed cancer in these areas, so have those areas removed, as in bilateral mastectomy and also having the fallopian tubes and the ovaries removed. So, and then this is the Andrea Bartolomeo. So this is my 5-year metastasis-free survival, absolute chemotherapy benefit, 12%. So that's with chemo, radiation, and bilateral mastectomy, and removing, it's like an oophorectomy, I think, when you remove the ovaries and fallopian tubes. I could be wrong. I'm not a gynecologist, obviously. Yeah, so, I think I had 3 injections before these test results came back. And then, I went in for like my 4th injection. Maybe it was my 3rd injection. And I met with my oncologist, is the one who orders the injections. And, I had done a lot of research on chemotherapy, and I had done a lot of research on radiation therapy. And, I also got to experience my father, who died from lung cancer, my mother, who died from complications of her breast cancer treatment. So I got to see them. I got to witness, how the chemo and the radiation affected their daily lives, their quality of life. And, it was horrible. My dad could not taste anything. He could not eat anything. He was in constant pain. He was having to take incredibly high doses of pain medication just to make it through the day. It's almost like he died before he died, because he still died a year later. Now, my mom, she was able to, I don't think she had as aggressive of a round of chemo, but she definitely had a lot of radiation. She had a mastectomy. And it was not fun for her, she got really tired really easy. What's crazy is that she kind of got nice, which usually she was really pretty mean. That's how I knew she didn't feel good, because she was kind of being nice. Weird to say. But that was just my mom. She's pretty tough. And then I also researched, like, how did they come up with chemo? Like, what is chemo exactly? If I'm could possibly be told that I need to put this in my body, what is chemo? Interesting story. Chemo is basically a form of mustard gas, which they realized chemo as a treatment for cancer during the Holocaust, as it is basically a form of mustard gas. So basically, oh, I guess my video is probably going to get flagged because I said that. Um, in the gas chambers, not everybody died. You know, some people did not die and they lived, and they did not have any quality of life at all. But the monstrous scientists that worked in these gas chambers noticed that their cells did not reproduce properly. They were, very much, they had a lot of deformities, and it's monstrous what happened. But they noticed that their cells did not reproduce. So obviously in their mind, they were like, well, if the cells don't reproduce, then we could like modify this and it could be used to make cancer cells not reproduce. So basically what chemo does is it's a poison, basically, and it shuts down your entire immune system. I think you can take it with a pill, but they offered it to me intravenously. It would shut down your entire immune system, shut everything completely down, and also make it impossible for the cancer cells to reproduce. When I read that, I was just kind of like, if I'm already sick, why would I just go ahead and shut all of my immune system down completely? My healthy immune system, the healthy parts of my body? Um, that, of course, was after we had assessed with all of the scans that there was no cancer anywhere else in my body, that it had not metastasized, it had not grown, it was right here. It had not. So then I also looked at like the after effects. I wanted to know, okay, if this is what medical professionals are saying to do, then tell me what happens in the long run. Like, what happens 5 years down the road? You know, are there any effects? Because a lot of people will talk about the effects that happen, that are obvious, that happen during treatment. But nobody really wanted to talk about, like, other than it's going to keep your cancer, it's going to create a 93% success rate for you. You have a 12% benefit. But what the other effects of radiation therapy and chemotherapy? I mean, because I watch a lot of shows, I watch a lot of YouTube videos, watch a lot of craziness. I've seen some people who work around, like, in nuclear power plants, and they're around radiation, and they have lots of really crazy cancers that pop up later in their life, and there is kind of an increase of different cancers forming at the radiation site, later on. So, you know, at this time I was still living in my car. I was working, and I went in to go get I feel like it was my fourth injection, but it could have been my third. And they had me in the office, and immediately, my doctor, my oncologist, I don't know if I should say her name or not, but she's fantastic. I love her. She was like, "Okay, so, we've finally got all the results in. We've decided that we're going to go ahead and start a very aggressive form of chemotherapy today, mixed with radiation. We're going to start it today. And, it's going to be 8 weeks, 2 times every week. And because you're so young, we're going to be very aggressive. And I just sat there and I looked at her and I was like, okie dokie. What if I tell you no? We're not going to do that. What if I tell you no, we're not going to do that? And she told me that I could get a second opinion, and if I didn't trust her, and I told her it's not that I don't trust her, it's just that, I actually think for myself, and I've done a lot of research, and, I've seen two people, my parents both, go through this, have horrible quality of life, they still die. Um, in my opinion, if it's a genetic mutation and it has not spread, then why not just have the ovaries removed and just have the bilateral mastectomy and be done with it? I mean, if those are the organs that are affected by this genetic mutation, then just have those taken, and if it hasn't spread, take them off, take them out. You know, I don't really want to be dealing with chemotherapy while living in my car. I can't really afford to take that much time off of work. And also, like, I don't want to, if I am going to have cancer and it is going to be a life or death situation, I want to enjoy the food that I'm going to eat, because I don't have a whole lot of other things that I really enjoy in life. That's my life. And she was like, I can understand that, quality of life. So I got all of these risk papers, but I'm not going to do it. Went ahead and got the Lupron shot, to continue to put me into this chemical menopause, and, went about my business. And then I kind of felt like, I'm not even going to lie, I felt like for about 2 weeks afterwards, I feel like for the whole time before, I had this nurse who was calling to check on me every day, almost every day. I had, it seemed like the medical professionals were just like, really like, we want to see you, la 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 la, we want to know how you're doing. And when I told them no, they were just like, ignore. It's okay. It's my body. It's my choice. Um, but I was probably just being kind of like hypersensitive. It's a big bunch of news to get, when you get a diagnosis like that. It's a big bunch of news to get. But yeah, I told her, I said, it's not that I don't trust you. It's just, I have a brain. I think for myself. And it seems to me that why would I do that? Why? Why? I don't think God created me to put a whole bunch of poisons in my body and shut down healthy immune systems that I currently have. And that's all they could basically tell me, was that aside from this tumor in your body, you're incredibly healthy. Why would I want to? It just didn't make sense to me. So we went on. It was like another 2 months. I just kept getting the injection, no communications with anybody really. Um, and then I met with my surgeon again. And one of the things that they had told me was like, if you want to have a reconstruction, because FYI, if you're diagnosed with cancer and you have to have a bilateral mastectomy, it's a federal law that you're entitled to a free reconstruction. So, silver lining. But I was like, why am I going to have a reconstruction? I don't want to do that. I don't even have a boyfriend. I don't even have a sexual life, and it's not like I'm going to breastfeed, or wait, can you breastfeed with breast implants? No. So I was just kind of like, no, in the beginning. But then I started thinking about it, and I had a consultation with a surgeon and then the plastic surgeon. And the plastic surgeon kind of like talked me into it a little bit. But the thing is, I had to quit smoking. So, of course, I quit smoking. And it's been good. It was good. So, um, I'm very happy with my choice of my choice to say no to chemotherapy, to say no to radiation, to say yes to the bilateral mastectomy, the reconstruction, and having my ovaries and fallopian tubes removed. And I actually had that procedure done on August 24th. So it's been just about a little bit over 2 weeks ago. And, I got my pathology reports back last week. And everything is negative. There was no cancer in my lymph nodes. They took 3 portions of my right lymph node, right armpit lymph node, to test to see if there were any cancer cells. No. There was none in my ovaries, none in my fallopian tubes. Negative for carcinoma, negative for carcinoma, negative for carcinoma, negative for carcinoma. Fantastic news. Fantastic news. And I mean, basically, I'm healed. Now, it's been pretty insane, I'm not gonna lie. It's been a pretty up and down situation, pretty up and down 5 months, almost 6 months. It's funny that I was diagnosed during Mercury retrograde, and then it all came to a culmination and end in Mercury retrograde. It's interesting to me. And I'm in the process of, I have expanders in right now. I have expanders in, and they will gradually fill them up to the size that I want. And obviously, I'm going to have them fill them up the max amount and start an OnlyFans. I'm just kidding. I'm really not. But that's my joke. I say I'm going to. It's been a journey. It's been a process. I've become so close to God, so close to Jesus. That's my biggest strength this whole time. For sure. That's everybody's biggest strength. If you know that you have that strength, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't know, I really urge you to try it out. To try talking to Jesus, to try talking to God. Because there were some pretty bleak moments. There's sirens right when I say it, which I smile because, it was very much, I feel just like Jesus and God were like my ambulance, getting me to all of the safety. I was in the process of enrolling for school when I got diagnosed, which I'm still going to enroll in school. I'm just waiting, and I'm going to do it in the next semester. And I have big plans for my life. Now, maybe I will periodically make videos. It depends on if people want to hear from me. I probably won't do much tarot. I haven't done tarot. I've done a few readings for some friends, for close friends, but I haven't really done anything like that. I've been working. I pray. I work out. I still work out. I'm about to go to the gym today. I just keep pushing myself and realizing how strong I am and how grateful I am and how blessed I am. It's been a big eye opener. It's been a really big eye opener. I wasn't always this. In the beginning, I was kind of down. I was definitely not gonna lie. I was kind of like, but for the grand majority of people, we have a choice to be depressed and down, or we can choose to look at our situation in a different way. We can choose to be victims, or we can choose to fight. If you have God in your life, He's already fighting your battles before you even decide you want to. And that's a fact. I've realized how much God is in my life and fights my battles for me. I just have to be still and know that He is. You just have to be still and know that He is. I'm really grateful. I was very blessed. It could have been a lot worse. It was really interesting. It was almost like a social experiment when I first had to tell like my coworkers and people in my life that I had cancer, because everybody was like, and I felt almost like weird that I wasn't as upset as they were. Like, should I be more upset about this diagnosis? Am I reacting right? Should I be? And maybe if it was a different kind, maybe if it had spread, maybe if then I might have. Like I said, I'm really blessed. I'm really lucky. You know, but I'm also really proud of myself for not just blindly listening to what everybody said I should do. Listen to God, prayed a lot, prayed to Jesus and God a lot. And like when I said that, I don't think that God created me to put poisons in my body. I really don't. I don't know if I don't know if there is a situation where I would actually say, yeah, let me do chemo. Because I would have to be pretty terminal for me to consider that as an option. And really, honestly, chemo is so harsh. I mean, I feel like that almost makes people wish they were dead, instead of being this thing that tries to help you live. So if I was that terminal, I would want to spend the last, moments of my life enjoying what I can. Now, I'm not trying to influence anybody. I'm not a medical professional. I am a cancer survivor now. And I definitely do recommend use your brain, use your common sense, follow your intuition, talk to God. If you're ever faced with any of these decisions that you should need to make, don't just blindly follow what everybody says. All things are possible through God. So, yeah, this is Andrea, Dancing Star. Let me know if y'all would like me to make more videos and keep uploading, even if they probably aren't going to be tarot. Let me know. And if y'all do, then I will. If not, then maybe I'll just do periodic updates for the few that do want me to. But I hope everything and everybody is doing good. And thank y'all all for being there. There's only a few more days of retrograde left, so breathe deep, pray, you'll make it through. I promise.